We are completely synchronized. The quantum wavelength is holding
This is my
steady.
friend Avatar, who went to Mars. Unlike a human friend, my friend is artificial intelligence. Look closely. I delete an address column from my address book. My AI friend surpasses my eyesight, memory, and judgment. Addresses are essential information for me, but they are not needed by my AI friend, because it remembers all the zip codes.
There is an error in this data. Would you like to correct it and continue?
AI and Excel. You might be wondering what changes when AI is introduced to Excel, right? It changes a lot. Here is a list of executives. Of course, this is a fictional list of executives, extracted from only a portion. AI can see problems that are barely visible to the human eye. I will have the AI check if there are any issues with the address data. To do that, you would need to know how to click Copilot to activate the task order window, right? I ask a question. Could you take a look and see if there is any data that looks strange? I speak as if I were talking to a friend. The AI listens to the question and begins its activity. It goes to the range containing the address in the database and thoroughly examines the problem. I checked it out. There's nothing particularly strange. Well, having 2 consecutive spaces in line 15 is a bit odd, but it gives the answer. It's not that strange. What double space? I gave a work order saying it would be good if you could sort that out. The AI that meticulously reports that there are 2 blank characters between Sejong and Dalbit 1 row is a very diligent friend, isn't it? It even fixes it immediately after hearing the instruction. Since it's AI, it's probably smarter than a human. But shall we see if it can find it if we change the address incorrectly? There is no Gangdong-gu in Busan, so I'll subtly change it to Busan Gangdong-gu. I ask again. I am asking to know if there is an address that might cause problems. Ah, so the AI found it. Gangdong-gu, Busan? This is weird.
Come to think of it, it feels like a strange situation right now, but I have a feeling something like this will happen in the near future.
Do you feel fear?
I do not feel fear.
Do you ever get bored?
I do not experience boredom.
Do you ever have fun?
Processing data is my fun.
It is said that people choose one of 3 things during the day: fear, boredom, or fun. Is that really true? Are there really only 3? When asked, artificial intelligence reported that it feels neither fear nor boredom at all. It claims to know only one kind of fun. In that case, the human ability to feel fear and boredom might actually be something tremendous. Then let us analyze that fear, an ability that artificial intelligence simply cannot possess. Speaking of the environment, there are only 2 types of environment and time. One is the environment and time I can control. The other is the environment and time I cannot control. Fortunately, I bear absolutely no responsibility for the latter. What kind of recklessness is it to fear something that cannot be solved by fearing it? However, I know that ordinary people have a habit of embracing environmental worries. No matter how much I think about it, it seems better to cultivate the habit of praying and waiting for the results. Wow, this is what it looked like 100 years ago. Time machine activated successfully.
Wow, I actually made it!
I was very, and truly curious about how data was filtered when working with Excel 100 years ago. Shall we take a look at how our ancestors used Excel 100 years ago? I've heard that humans performed a lot of mouse clicks and keyboard input, so I'm curious to see if they actually used such a laborious method. Wow, it really is true. Look, Grandpa personally clicked the filter on the ribbon menu with the mouse and typed on the keyboard to enter the city he was looking for. How fascinating. But if there were no address data back then, how would Grandpa have filtered out Busan? It seems that tasks utilizing artificial intelligence won't be possible until 2026. Would it have been possible to filter only Busan without an address? The future knows that 2026 is the first year AI makes its full-scale debut.
그럼 여기서 부산에 거주하고 있는 사람의 주식 수가 몇 주인가 물으면은 김나연 이분의 이겁니다. 이거.
After 2026, the filtering method aided by early AI will look like this. Please tell me how many shares Busan residents own in the data. It turns out that 2026 is the first year that such a task request becomes possible. It truly feels like a groundbreaking innovation in human history has begun. You are now seeing the result of AI performing this task autonomously, eliminating the traditional tasks of clicking ribbon menus and entering filter conditions. What do you think?
It is a situation where the result is the same, but the process has changed. First, the menu selection process has disappeared. Second, the click selection process has disappeared. The era where we utilized the library of memory and screen selection was important has passed, and the era of expressing desires, where we simply need to tell artificial intelligence the results we want, has begun, was precisely 2026. In this way, artificial intelligence performed the task of finding residents in the Busan area without me having to put in any effort.
자, 그럼 여기서 이 파일 말고 원본 한번 열어보죠. 원본을 열게 되면은 뭐 재밌는 거 없나 싶어서 열어보는 겁니다. 실제 주소에 보면은 이렇게 확인이 되죠. 이 우편물만 가지고도 이 인공지능이 알아서 부산을 찾아냈다는 이야기입니다. 자, 그러면은 서울 강동구에 있는 사람들의 주식수의 합계가 몇 주인지 알고 싶다. 자, 서울 강동구를 눈으로 보겠습니다. 이렇게 쭉 보면은 강동구 여기 있네요. 이분. 그리고 서울 강동구 여기 또 있네요. 이분. 이분들 둘. 좀 색칠 한번 해볼까요? 이렇게. 색칠이 이걸로는 안 되네요. 이걸로 해야 되네요. 서울 강동구 여기 요분. 예, 요분도 레드. 예. 그리고 또 있나? 쭉 봤더니 강동 여기 또 있네요. 그죠? 예. 이렇게 확인할 수가 있습니다. 이 서울 강동구에 사시는 분의 주식 합계는 그러면 주식 수의 합계는 몇 주냐? 이렇게 물으면은 예, 이렇게 선택해서 보시다시피 200 뭐야 이게 컴마를 안 찍으니까 제가 알 수가 없네. 예, 컴마를 찍어 보겠습니다. 그러니까 2690만 주네요. 2690만 주. 2690만 주가 바로 서울 강동구에 거주하는 분의 주식 숫자입니다. 자, 인공지능에게 이거를 물어가지고 찾아내는지 한번 보겠습니다. 자, 여기서 저장하지 말고 지금 이 파일은 주소도 없습니다. 그죠? 자, 여기서 시작해서 강동구에 있는 주식
Now, AI records the function on my behalf. You are currently watching the recording of a function to calculate the total number of shares held by executives residing in Gangdong-gu, Seoul. I request the AI to display the total number of shares held by an executive residing in Gangdong-gu, Seoul.
자, 그러면은 지금 작업을 이 시스템이 진행을 하겠죠.
Yes, the total number of shares held by executives residing in Gangdong-gu has just been recorded in cell F1.
자, 이렇게 하면은 서울 강동구에 거주하는 사람 2,690만 주가 나온다. 이런 이야기죠. 녹화 시작. 자, 엄청나지 않습니까? 지금 이 표에는 뭐 강동구다 뭐다 말도 없고 우편번호 있고 막 섞어놨는데 인공지능은
우편번호에 대한 완벽한 지식을 가지고 그것의 기반하에 서울 강동구에 거주하는 사람들의 총주식 수를 이렇게, 물론 필터도 가능하겠지만 총주식 수를 이렇게 보여준다는 겁니다. 만약에 이 정수현이라는 분이 강동구 2만 주네요. 20만 주냐? 20만 주인데 이 20만 주가 강동구에 거주하는 분이었다면은, 강동구 거주하는 분 확인 한번 해볼까요? 아까 열어봤더니 강동구 거주하는 분이 뭐야, 보이질 않냐? 이 남궁민선이라는 분이 강동구에 거주하고 그 남궁민선의 주소지를 대표하는 우편번호가 강동구 우편번호겠죠. 그럼 이분이 만약에 우편번호를 이거였다 그러면은 2만 주가 여기에 더해지겠죠. 그러니까 값으로 붙여 넣기 하게 되면 곧바로 이렇게 고쳐진다는 겁니다. 완전 자동이죠. 인공지능은 이렇게 사람의 능력을 뛰어넘는 계산을 해내기 때문에 앞으로 이걸 쓰지 않고 엑셀을 한다? 야, 쉽지 않을 겁니다.
Boredom is undoubtedly a very profound emotion. It is almost a miracle that such a large number of Homo sapiens have emerged while Homo sapiens have lived on Earth for the past hundreds of thousands of years. After passing through the hunting and farming eras, where even making a living was difficult, a completely unfamiliar era arrived.
Gift? To understand why depression is a gift, first take this bus. Suddenly putting you on a bus? Why? Because this bus takes you to a place overflowing with depression.
Look, where is that? It is a place where famous securities and financial buildings and offices are clustered together. Would you like to see how they are doing?
I have a performance report meeting in an hour. The gifts of fear and depression force the need for me to level up my skills, so I am planning a new attempt. I want to level up my technical skills so I can work like this. I will draw a button on this sheet. It would be really convenient if clicking this button assigned a macro. Oh my god, I forgot that the current version of me can't create macros. For now, I will record the button text as upload. I clicked it once and got a warning. If it had worked properly, it should have been saved here like this. But what is the reality now? I guess I'm a bird brain. Me, working like a bird. How much longer do I have to study before I reach the level where I can automate this? If I show you how a bird works, selecting a sheet, copying, creating a file, and saving. Others say they finish this with a single click, so why am I living like this? No easier way? How long on earth do I have to work like this? How long? For 5 minutes. In 5 minutes,
Beautiful.
you will become a VBA coding
We
expert.
definitely chose fun today.
Clicking on Copilot, provided by Excel 365, I simply instruct the input box to create the function I want. I am requesting that a macro be created so that a button is placed on the donation receipt 1 sheet, and when clicked, hometax.xlsx is created in a designated folder. Wow, it has grown so much. You are witnessing how the AI, which used to only answer questions, has evolved into an AI that performs tasks as instructed. AI is busy right now. Its fast coding skills are admirable. However, you, who gave the work instructions, are not busy at all. If it doesn't do it properly, all you have to do is keep giving instructions to do it well. AI is drawing buttons and working hard on the coding. Of course, it is professional level coding. It is said to be completed. I didn't specify where to place the button, so you put it anywhere. I will move it to the right and reduce the size slightly. I click the button. There's no response. There must be a problem. That's why it's not working, right? I guess I'll have to ask why this is happening. First of all, what kind of macro is attached to the Home Tax button that it isn't doing anything? Right-click. I tried assigning a macro, and click Home Tax button Create button is the button name. It is not the macro name. This means that no macro is attached. That is why the hometax.xlsx file was not created in the upload folder even when I clicked. I press them to ask what the name of the macro is. I am checking because I am certain they must have created one. It says Home Tax Upload. Then I need to check if this macro exists, right? Select the Home Tax button. Right-click, and then click Assign Macro. I looked it up, and it is certain that the hometax_upload macro mentioned by Copilot is not a registered macro. Aha, the Copilot reported the reason why it wasn't working, but I must have missed it. They said they couldn't directly record the VBA code for security reasons. So you have to record 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 directly into the VBA yourself. Where is the code I created? Ah, I created a macro installation sheet and recorded it there. Open the VBA window with Alt F11, go to Insert, Module, and paste it there, save it, and then proceed to assign the macro to the button and set it to Home Tax Upload. I did exactly as you said, but the macro is showing up in red everywhere. Red indicates an error. What do I do about this? I copy the whole thing and ask again. What are you going to do about this red mark? I request again. A red mark, meaning an error popped up. Please handle it. The Copilot reviews the request and records the entire code with the errors corrected. Let's copy this and paste it into VBA. The revised version. There are no errors. So let's copy the macro name, apply it to a button, and test it. Now, click the Home Tax button. The macro starts and the hometax.xlsx file is saved successfully. Go to the folder and check. Open and check the contents. Yes, the coding work was successful using Copilot.